Hey Browns fans, there's a lot of buzz surrounding the Browns, and it's not just about our current roster. I'll tell you all about it in detail, but before we dive into today's exciting news, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on your Cleveland Browns. Let's get right to it. The Cleveland Browns have reportedly been linked to a rising star in college football, Caleb Johnson, a dynamic running back from the Iowa Hawkeyes. With our running attack not hitting its target this season and the uncertainty surrounding Nick Chubb's return, it looks like the Browns may be looking to tap some future talent in the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, why Johnson? This guy has been absolutely electric on the field, racking up 685 yards and 9 touchdowns in just 4 games. To top it off, he's averaging 8.4 yards per carry. That's the kind of explosiveness that could inject some serious life into our backfield. Not bad for someone who wasn't even on the radar last year, right? After a slower 2023 season with just 463 yards, Johnson completely flipped the script, and the NFL is taking note. Now, let's talk about why this matters to Cleveland. As we all know, Nick Chubb is still out after that serious knee injury last September, and while we expect him to return to full strength by mid-season, there's no guarantee he'll be his old self. Jerome Ford hasn't excelled as expected, and Dante Foreman, while reliable, probably won't be a long-term solution at 28 years old. So the Browns could find themselves in serious need of a future franchise running back after this season. Caleb Johnson could be just what we need. Imagine him in our backfield, breaking tackles and opening up the offense with those explosive runs. The idea of drafting Johnson in 2025 has already been floated by Bleacher Report's Ryan Fowler, and it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But here's the big question, Browns fans, would you like to see Caleb Johnson in a Cleveland uniform next season? Do you think the Browns should look to recruiting our next great running back, or should we focus on other areas? Now, if there's one topic that's been talked about the most, it's Deshaun Watson and his stance on the Browns offense. As you know, the team has struggled this season, going 1-2 through 3 games. Watson, our franchise quarterback, hasn't exactly been a standout, with his QBR rating near the bottom, just ahead of Bryce Young, who, by the way, has already been benched. Oh, right? Now, Browns fans, I'm sure many of you are thinking, why not use Watson's legs more? After all, adding some design QB runs could shake things up, open up the offense, and maybe give us a better chance to move the chains. Well, Watson has made it pretty clear, he's not interested. When asked recently if he'd be open to more designed runs, Watson didn't mince words. He said, "I'm not going to go out there and ask for more designed runs. If I don't have to run, I'm not going to run." I get it. He's not a running back, and that's not why the Browns signed him. Watson said, "They signed me to throw the ball, make decisions, and be a quarterback, not a runner." And honestly, he's right. But here's where it gets tricky. Our offense hasn't done much through the air or on the ground. We rank 24th in rushing, averaging 95.7 yards per game, and our passing offense? Worse yet, we rank 30th at just 152.3 yards per game. That's not exactly setting the league on fire. So would it help if Watson used his mobility more often? It's not a crazy idea. We've seen him do it before. But Watson has good reason to be cautious. He's recovering from shoulder surgery, and running more could put him at risk. He said, "I'm not going to say it won't help the offense, but coming off shoulder surgery, I don't think it's a high priority for Coach Kevin Stefanski to put me in that situation." Watson clearly wants to avoid unnecessary hits, and with his recent injury history, it's hard to blame him. Still, you can't ignore the fact that back in his Texans days, Watson averaged 5.7 rushing attempts per game. But since joining the Browns, that number has dropped to 5.1 attempts in 15 games, and since the start of last season, it's dropped to 4.4 rushes per game. Watson seems to prefer running when things break down rather than being a designed runner. And Browns fans, the way things are going, it seems like there's a lot to consider here. Is protecting Watson from more runs the right decision, even if it limits our offensive options? Now, let's turn to you, Browns fans. What do you think of Watson's decision? Should he use his legs more, or is it smarter to keep him focused on being a pocket passer, especially after shoulder surgery? As we all know, this season hasn't exactly started out the way we expected. But if there's one bright spot in the Browns' offense right now, it's Jerry Jeudy. This guy is coming into his own and showing exactly why he was such a great acquisition for Cleveland. Remember back in training camp when Jeudy talked about his goals? He said he wanted to prove himself as a consistent player, and so far, he's delivered on that promise. Through the first 3 weeks of the season, Jeudy has been one of our most reliable weapons on offense. He's tied with Amari Cooper for most receptions on the team with 12, but Jeudy leads the Browns with 125 receiving yards. He even scored his first touchdown of the season, catching a 6-yard pass against the Cowboys in Week 1. Now, when the Browns traded for Jeudy, we knew we were getting a versatile player, and boy has he shown it. He's been lining up all over the field, whether it's on the outside, in the slot, or even in the backfield. His ability to adjust has been critical to this offense, especially when things aren't going his way. Just ask Deshaun Watson. Every time Watson is forced out of the pocket, Jeudy seems to be there, adjusting his routes and giving the quarterback a reliable target. In our only win so far this season, against the Jaguars, Jeudy had his best game as a Brown, catching 5 passes for 73 yards. That chemistry with Watson is starting to develop, and it's clear that Jeudy is becoming one of the go-to guys when the offense needs a big play. I always want to be in the quarterback's vision, Jeudy said after the game. So wherever he goes, I try to be there, and if he sees me, I'm going to make a play. And let's not forget, Jeudy is no stranger to making plays. A first-round pick in the 2020 NFL Draft by the Broncos, his best season came just a few years ago in 2022, when he racked up 972 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. But now, at just 25 years old, he's looking to turn the page and start a new chapter here in Cleveland. Jeudy's leadership is also starting to shine through. After the heartbreaking loss to the Giants, where rookie W.R. Cedric Tillman dropped a crucial pass on 4th down, Jeudy stepped in. He shared a story from his own rookie season to lift Tillman's spirits, telling him not to let one bad moment define his career. I told Tillman, "Don't let one game define what kind of player you are," Jeudy said. "Just remember what that feels like and let that push you to keep pushing yourself so that it doesn't happen again." And that's the kind of leadership this team needs right now. While Jeudy is still young, he's already proving to be a mentor to some of the younger guys on the team. He understands the struggles and is helping guide them. That leadership will be key because, let's face it, the offense has struggled. The Browns are averaging just 16.7 points per game, which puts them near the bottom of the league. But Jeudy, along with head coach Kevin Stefanski, knows the team has what it takes to turn things around. They just need to get all 11 players on the same page. "A lot of our mistakes come when one guy makes a mistake and it ruins the whole play," Jeudy said. "We need all 11 guys locked in, and when we get there, I feel like we're going to be really dangerous as a group." So what do you think, Browns fans? Is Jerry Jeudy the spark this offense needs to get things going, or is there more work to be done? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Go Browns!